Hello, greetings. This is Ann Sieg once again, 21 Suggestions for Success. And we're into suggestion number 15, be honest. Oh, yes, again, this led into a dialogue. I am on the whole, I don't know if I can say overly honest, but I tend to be too transparent and not unscathingly honest, because that has the sense that you just blurt out whatever you want and you're not sensitive to people. But I tend to be an extremely honest person to a fault. And then my husband will have to kind of rein me in. And just because someone asked you a question about thus and thus, it doesn't mean you have to disclose everything. In other words, the term there would be discretion. You know, having discretion for how much you say. That does not mean that you're falling into a scope of dishonesty. You just say, well, with regard to your question, here's the information that I'm able to provide you. Or, you know, somehow putting that context. But of course, in the simplest form of this statement, be honest, the converse is be a liar. And there's a saying, it's a biblical one, be sure your sin will find you out. You know, meaning if you're a liar, it's going to find you out. It just always does. Just like the proverbial story of Pinocchio. So I think we can all go there. We all get that being a liar is not what we want to be. We want to be known as an honest person, because in the scope of being successful, when you are caught in a lie, it ruins relationships. And I believe having good, open relationships is one of the very best things you can have on the planet. A lot of times they're pretty rare and hard to find. So the bigger you are in lying and dishonesty, the fewer open relationships you're going to have, because they got you tagged. Yeah, and he lied to me the last time. And they set this up in their mind and in their brain that, you know, he seems to be a habitual liar. I don't know that I can believe anything he says. Off the list they go. You can't trust in them. You can't confide in them. They're just put over in that category of just another bunch, you know, into the hopper of liars they go. So I think this is huge for success. It's using discretion as you exercise honesty, because I have this somewhat, or as I'm told by my husband, to a fault. And it is sad that this has become, these attributes are becoming like anomalies. What comes to mind is there was a story of a young boy at, he was a manager apparently, he was like 18 or 19 at a Dairy Queen. This was here in Hopkins, Minnesota. And this hit national news, don't you know? And why? Because there was a blind person coming up to the window to place their order, and as the blind person was pulling out their money out of his pocket, a $20 bill fell on the ground. The person behind him reached up and grabbed it and put it in his pocket. And the manager who was serving the blind man saw that transaction or transgression and said, and he went after this person demanding you give that money, and the person refused. And so this very honest young man gave of his own money to compensate for this poor blind man who had been taken advantage of. And what a shame and a disgrace to this person who stole the money, couldn't acknowledge it, couldn't have enough humility to say, you know, you're right. You're right. How bad is that, stealing from a blind person? I apologize. Please forgive me. Here's the money. No. Instead, they were arrogant about it. They lied. They denied their theft. But the young man was exemplary. So this was just like big national news, got on YouTube, etc. And it's like, once upon a time, that was mainstay. That was Main Street, USA. It's not the case anymore. Why? Because there's a society of, but I have this coming to me. It's actually owed to me. People owe me this. So we've got this big entitlement thing that we're dealing with, and it's because we've encouraged that kind of behavior. Behavior that's rewarded is repeated. Behavior that is rewarded is repeated. When you reward people for these negative behaviors, that's a clue and a sign that just keep on doing it. So they do. It's really simple. All right, so those are my thoughts for Be Honest. Go ahead and comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Talk soon.